Hey everybody, Jim here. Just wanted to, I don't know, kind of ramble on a little bit. Nothing really in particular I want to get into. Um, Kind of talking about the hobby and the collecting in general and grail chasing and some of the things I want to talk about is what I'm looking forward to getting and what, if you care about watching any of my videos, what you can look forward to seeing coming up very soon. And another quick shout out to Jeff, to Tuffthumbz. I guess I'll start there. Since I'm just rambling on, I have no particular, order of things that I want to go into. Jeff gave me a call, I don't know, a couple hours ago, and we spent probably a good hour or so on the phone. I made a comment on his YouTube channel just a few minutes ago. If you guys think he rambles on in his videos, you have no idea. I mean, the dude just chats like a 16-year-old girl. But that's okay. He's a really cool dude. I got a lot of insight onto how his very dark and twisted mind works. And he's a really, really cool dude. We had a lot of fun talking. And I just want to say, for anybody that, and most of you are subscribers to his channel, if you have not watched his video yet that has the TuffTanic displayed in it, where he's showing it off for like a good 10 minutes, and again, rambling on, you got to go see that. I just secured my order for one. He's not going to make a lot of those on that first round, so I'm going to tell you right now, if the look of that thing entices you at all, you need to contact him and get your order in. I secured my order. I'm ready to go. He's going to kind of tweak mine a little bit because I'm to the point now where I really don't want to own things that other people own, period. And, even if it's going to be the same knife, I want it to be different. I want it to be different somehow, some way. Maybe it's my desperate attempt. I don't know. I just want it to be different. So Jeff's going to hook me up with that. I can't wait. I mean, that thing is just sick. And the thing is, you're watching his video and all he's showing you is a very raw hand-built prototype. And it looks really cool the way it is. And he's going to be water jetting everything. I mean, the precision in which those are going to be manufactured. I mean, I can't wait. And I know how he is kind of. He's not going to let anything out that he doesn't feel is just right anyway. So, I mean, it's just going to be a kick-ass knife. So, Jeff, congratulations on that. I think it's going to be awesome. And I see myself owning a lot of your knives as long as you get away from those friggin' friction folders. Anyway, inside joke there. So anyway, what I'm looking forward to, besides my totally kick-ass TuffTanic, and I can't wait to do a video on that, is I've got a few things that are kind of in the works right now. I can't wait to do videos on. You guys know that I've developed a relationship with Mikkel Williamson. I'm super stoked. Here's actually his prototype that he made for the Maddox. That I got from him a few weeks ago. I actually have this in my for sale video. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Most of all that stuff sold. Now, this is one of the very few that's remaining. And I totally dig his style. I love his out-of-the-box designs. I love the feel of his stuff and the fact that he just goes crazy, especially with size. Now, the first one he's doing for me, a lot of you guys know his CWC model. It was really, really popular. And what I didn't realize was he makes two different versions. I knew he made the big monster 5-inch blade, but it turns out he's willing to make 3.5-inch versions. So once I found that out, I threw a whole bunch of ideas at him. He's the kind of guy that I look at as really being an artist. So I want him to put his spin on it, but I give him an idea of a couple little things I wanted to do. I'm not really going to reveal what it is yet because, again, I don't want you copying me. At least not until I've shown mine. So we're going to do some really, really cool stuff with that. One of the neat things I will say is the bolster area is going to be made of bacon Damascus, which if you haven't seen the bacon Damascus he works with, go check out his Facebook page. It's not under Mikkel Williamson. It's under Williamson. Here it is right here. You don't even have to listen to me. It's right there. It's under Williamson Urban Tactical on Facebook. And go through his photo album. He's got a few things in there with bacon Damascus for blades and whatnot. It looks really, really, really cool. And then he's going to be making a second one for me. And I wanted to do something wildly different there. Many of you have watched my other videos know that I totally dig Chris Martin at Phantom Steelworks. He made a PF1 flipper for me, and then I had him pimp out my Tuffthumbz on, which I made a video of as well. And I said, you know, how cool would it be to get these two radical visionaries together on a collaboration? So I kind of sent them both a message at the same time. And I said, guys, I love what you guys each do. I would love to get you two together. You know, Mikkel, you come up with an idea and then, you know, we'll make that happen. And then Chris will just take it off into a whole nother level. And it was funny because I borrowed a term that I had heard Jeff use once on his channel, scorched earth. And I said, this is the idea. I've got something very post-apocalyptic. I want, you know, like it's just been through hell and back. It's been blown up. It's just insane. It looks dirty. It looks mean. It looks like you might get an infection just by picking it up off the ground. And, you know, they're going to throw a whole bunch of stuff at it. Now, that one's going to be a longer process to make that one because there's two artists involved. But that one's going to be ridiculously sick. Another one, and I'm expecting it in any time next week. Finally going to get my Curtis F3. Dave Curtis, totally awesome guy. Talked to him on the phone last week when I was kind of confirming my order with him. Super great guy. Love the work that he does. And, you know, that F3 is just rocking. If you haven't seen it, go look at some of the videos on YouTube, the guys that have already gotten theirs, and watch how wicked that thing flips out. It's a very clean, almost plain look. I went for the all stone wash. She offers 3 different versions, and I ended up doing the all stone wash. And then he's kind of doing something, tweaking a couple little things, very minor, again, just to set mine apart from everybody else's. I ended up ordering a Medford Praetorian today. Very cool. One of the 10 that he's offering in the S35 VN blade. Very slick, very cool. Greg's going to, again, he's going to modify that one again to be a little bit different. I'm kind of giving him artistic license too. I'm like, here's kind of what I'd like to see, and then do whatever the hell you want from there. He talked me into doing a Vulcan blade. I was a little sketchy because he made a video saying, well, you never know how that Vulcan blade's going to come out. Is it going to be too dark? Is it going to be splotchy? Is it going to be all scorched and messed up looking? You know, it's not going to look all pretty, you know, like this one does. And I said, well, dude, you've only got 10 of those blades that you're working with. If it gets screwed up, he's like, grow some balls, try it and see what happens. So he assures me I'm going to be happy, so I'm not worried about that. Another one just landed in my lap. I'm going to kind of leave that as a surprise. I will make a video about that, and I can't wait to see the comments on that one. That one's going to be a very special piece. I have ordered 2 more Yunas. The thing with Yun is, you know, they are entirely hand-built, so you have to wait a shit long time in order to get your knives. And I figured, you know what, I've got my Hard 2 here. I am massively in love with it. This knife will stay with me until I die, and screw it, I might even be buried with it. So I figured, you know, I've got this. This will pacify me. I don't mind the 17-month wait for my order. And I figured, you know what, while I'm ordering, and I'm already waiting that long, I might as well just order 2. Yeah, what the hell. He's really cool the way he orders. You don't have to pay up front. Once he begins your project, he asks for a deposit. And that's going to be probably a year from now. And then, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months later, whatever, when he's done with it, is when he will ask you to pay the balance. So I got plenty of time to worry about that. So I ordered a Hard 3, which has kind of a recurved tanto blade. Love it. It is wickedly sick. And I made some unique requests with materials that he has never used before. So we'll see how that comes out. And his little EQ, the little tiny pocket folder. I think it's I want to say it's a 2.5, maybe 3-inch blade. Super slick, super cool. For those times I just don't want to carry something as big as this. I didn't do either in the Type S. I wanted to keep the nice slim profile. I like how this fits in the hand, even though I tend to go for a chunkier knife. For whatever reason, I really like this one. What else have I got? I actually opened up a conversation yesterday with Ferrum Forge, and if you haven't subscribed to his channel yet, absolutely do it. This dude is doing some really wicked cool stuff, and I saw his video on what he calls the Predator knife, and he made that as a one-off for a customer. So it's kind of like, well, I know you're not going to make the exact same thing. You don't want to take away from the speciality of what that guy had you do. But, you know, I would love to have something similar. And he messaged me, and it turns out he knows who I am from what I do for a living, and he had seen my videos, and he had subscribed to my channel, and he's a really totally cool guy. I'm actually going to try and get on the phone in the next couple of days. I definitely want to chat with the dude, and as Jeff will tell you, I am not the kind of guy that likes to get on the telephone, but I actually want to chat the dude up and just kind of get to know him a little bit, because he seems like a really slick dude. So check out his channel. It's really cool. And check out that Predator knife that I'm talking about. Because I'm telling you, that thing, I've never seen anything. I mean, he built it with scales, where the scales were actually like opening up around the corner. Just go check it out. Really sick. So I'm honestly afraid to even ask him how much that's going to cost. And the way I figure it is, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. And even if I can't afford it, I'm still not going to ask, because you get choked up with pride. So that's kind of it for what I have incoming. And I cannot wait to make videos about those. My big thing is, I collect a lot of different things, and it drives my wife absolutely crazy. And for those of you that are sitting in, watching on your laptop, you're kind of nodding your head going, yep, the wife, the girlfriend, the fiance, they're really getting tired of all the money I spend. My hobbies are guns, very fast cars, motorcycles, and obviously watches, because, well, that's what I do for a living. And, all those get expensive. And the worst part of it is I have an addictive personality, and this is exactly why I will never in my life walk into a casino, because I know what's going to happen. And is when I dive into something, I dive into it kind of full tilt, and I can't stop. And I have to kind of go through cycles, because it really pisses the wife off, especially since we just had a baby. And, some of my discretionary income is a little bit more limited now. And she's okay, a few hundy here and there, 1,000 here and there. Not going to be a big deal. Last month I think I dropped I think in the past 2.5 months I've dropped like $8,000 on knives, and she's just getting to be a little bit concerned. She's really cool. She's not a really limiting or controlling person, but at some point she's like, okay, when is enough going to be enough? And I've gone through the same thing with everything else, and watches was really the worst of it for me for the longest time. And, I've kind of cooled down on the watches for a little bit, especially now that I'm getting ready to debut my own brand of watches very shortly. A lot of you already know about that. I'll talk about that maybe in the future. But, we're not going to see those until October, November for the first model. So it's like, maybe I won't spend as much on watches now if I own my own brand and I'm, manufacturing my own stuff. So that'd be kind of cool. I know that won't really stop me, because I'm always going to be a collector at heart. And so right now I'm really focusing on getting back my knife collection to where I want it to be, getting in cool stuff. This was one of the pieces that kind of reignited my passion. The Bodega. My dear God, I love this knife, and I see myself owning a few variations. I actually contacted them about a totally custom version. I'll have to see what the progress is on that and see if they're going to be able to get the materials that I want. And if so, hey, I guess I'll have another incoming soon. It's hard to justify to somebody else that's not into it and explain to them how much it almost pains you to not have something incoming, to not have something on the way to you. There's something so fun when you have a new acquisition. You've paid for it, you've ordered it, you know it's on the way. And if you're as bad as I am, a lot of times before that item even arrives, you're already on other websites looking at the next acquisition, getting excited about the next thing. And that's kind of how I fell into the Curtis F3. I'd already, ordered my Mikkels and all the other stuff, and I was totally happy. And then I'm like, well, I have to wait for those. They're not going to be here yet. I kind of want something to satisfy that urge right now. And our urges go beyond wanting something. We feel like we need it, and we can justify it in almost every way. We need to have it. Well, honey, he's only going to make 10 of those, and if I don't order it now, somebody else is going to do it. So there's always that justification that we have when we're on that Grail hunt. Right now for me, I knocked one of them out by getting into the Medford. I'm very happy about that. Actually, the pair of them now. Hey, there was a surprise. 48 hours ago, didn't know I was going to own one. Now I've got 2 incoming, so lucky me. But it's like right now I've got a total hard on for the Direware Solo V2. Very specific. I want the carbon fiber and I want that dark tumble stonewash blade. There's something about that knife that really ignites a fire in me. The problem is their books are closed. You can't order from them. And if and when you find one on the secondary market, people are asking a ridiculous amount of money. I just watched a guy on Arizona Custom Knives. Was all excited on Friday when I realized, oh my goodness, they're gonna upload a Direware. I'm finally gonna be able to get a shot at one. And I forget what it was. I want to say it was something ridiculous like $1,600. Folks, it's a $650 knife, and I, more so than most, understand supply versus demand. And I don't mind paying more for something. I paid more for my Una than if I would have ordered it from Yun. But I paid the convenience fee, if you will, because I could get it right away. I had to wait all of 4 days for it to arrive. So I didn't mind paying a little bit more. I would not have paid double what it was worth. No way. And with that, with that Solo V2, yeah, I would have loved it. There's no way I would have ponied up $1,000 more than what they sell for. I'm just kind of trying to occupy your eyes, by the way, by doing all this. I don't know if it's dazzling you or not. I could sit here and do magic hand tricks. I have magical hands, or so I've been told. So maybe you're like me, maybe you've got that addiction where it just doesn't seem to end. And if you don't have somebody there to kind of stop you and talk sense into you, I think it could probably actually be a little bit dangerous. I've gone through that kick where, I'll walk into a gun shop and they'll just happen to have 3, 4, 5 things that I want. And I'll walk out $4,000 or $5,000 later, and I may be really happy with my purchases, and I'm not really talking about buyer's remorse. But I'll get home and think, oh my goodness, how much money did I just drop? What I've dropped in the past 2.5 months, I could have bought with cash another motorcycle. And then you start to kind of try to rationalize that. Well, where would I rather put that money? Would I rather have it in this hobby or this hobby? Again, I'm talking about discretionary income. I'm not talking about taking away from your family's needs or taking away from your financial responsibilities. That's obviously, you get into doing that and you've got an issue and you really need to, somebody needs to talk to your ass about that. But I'm talking about just discretionary income. And you kind of think to yourself, well, would I have rather used that money for this hobby, for that other hobby? I don't know. I mean, I look at my Harley. I've got a Road Glide Custom that I've put a fair amount of money into, a little bit of stuff here and there. And it's like I really want to get one of the integrated Garmin GPS units because the GPS I used to use won't fit on the Yaffe monkey bar handlebars that I put on there. So, we're talking like $800. Not a huge amount of money, but yet I have no problem dropping that much on this or more on that or that. And I look at it and go, well, I got a really great cool knife, but damn it, I still get lost if I get more than 10 miles away from home because I just never got around to getting that nav unit. And if I hadn't bought that knife, I'd have the extra money just sitting there and I could do it without even thinking. So it's like, how dangerous is it for you? I know where my situation is. I've got a really wonderful, amazing, superb, awesome wife that supports me in everything that I do. But she'll kind of take a step back every now and then and go, okay, you've kind of gone a little bit overboard on this one hobby. Why don't you cut back on that and, maybe do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Or just kind of cool it down for a little bit. Or you know what, hon? Why don't you sell a couple of the ones that you don't even look at or fondle anymore and use that income to offset the new expenses. So if you don't have anybody like that in your life, it might be a little bit more difficult. But I kind of want to hear where you guys are at. What do you guys have coming in that you're excited about? What do you see on the horizon? What's the grail that you really want to get that you can't get your hands on? And do you find yourself ever in a bind going, there's way more out there that I want than I should reasonably be spending to buy or that I can even afford? I'm looking forward to hearing the comments. Again, this is just kind of a rambling thing, not so much a knife review or anything else. I just kind of brought out some of my favorites and figured I'd fondle them for a few minutes. This one's really becoming kind of my favorite right now. Maybe it's the blue. Maybe it's the blue. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to sign off for right now. It's, oh my God, it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I've got to go to bed in the next couple hours. So I guess I'll just, go through the wonderful 4 4-hour YouTube upload. It's getting to be a pain in the ass. I got to figure out a better system for that. And I'm going to get some shut-eye, and when I wake up in the morning, I hope to see a lot of comments. Anyway, talk to you later. Thanks.